Welcome to this weekend's camp. That was a heavy one to lug in, I can tell you. If that Bergen full up wasn't bad enough, I've brought the Dutch Army tent. Lovely tent, but bloody hell it's heavy. Right, I've only got about 45 minutes of daylight. I need to get on, get set up, so I'll come back to you a bit later. Right, that's the first stage complete. I'm sure I don't need to introduce it, most of you have seen one. Now, as much as mine is waterproof, a lot of people have trouble with them leaking. Mine seems fine. It's canvas. We've got heavy rain forecast from sort of the middle of the night right through into the following morning. This time of year, this takes forever to dry out. It's okay in the summer, stick it up in the garden for a day and it's dry. Winter time, you just end up with it being damp and smelly and horrible. So I'm actually going to put my tarp over the top. Two reasons really. One, so I don't have to dry this, but two, if it's still thrashing it down first thing when I'm packing, I've got a dry space to work under. More importantly, a dry space to make coffee first thing. So, not quite sure how the tarp's going to go over it yet. It's going to be one of them things that you sort of learn as you go along. Let's find out. Almost done. I'll take you in a bit closer, show you what gear I'm using to keep me warm. I've had to put the bivvy light on already. It's getting a bit dark. Got my Andy's barrel sleeping bag. 3 seasons, but should be warm enough. Shouldn't be a problem. Got my real cheapo pillow today. I've got the UL80 sleep mat. Of course, as much as it's comfortable, no insulation whatsoever. So I've got the folding sort of Z-type thing underneath. So that should keep me insulated and I should be plenty warm enough. Plus the canvas holds a lot of heat. So that should be good. I ended up going square with the tarp. I wanted to go diamond really, but it just didn't work out. The trees are slightly too close together for a diamond formation. I couldn't get it out taut, so I ended up going square. Still got the majority of the tent covered. It might get slightly damp on the very ends, but that's no big deal. And at least square on. I've got a bit bigger working area out the front. I've got it up on the poles fully extended at the moment. There's a slight pitch on it, but the rain forecast is quite heavy. So last thing tonight when I go to bed, I'll probably drop that front end down about 6 inches. I just wanted it that sort of height to start with. So if the rain came early, I could sit under there comfortably in my chair. So that's camp set up as it were. I just need to put my chair together and then, while I can still see before it gets any darker, I'll get some firewood together. Not quite sure where I'm going to have the fire yet. I've brought my fire pit, so I could have it right here, or I might have it away. I don't know yet. I'll work that out as I'm going along. Well, that was a bit of a rush, but it's still light, as you can see. It's lighter here than where I've got my tent set up. I'm sort of just through that way, probably 30 or 40 feet, and it's dense pines, it's dark. Here, there's a big hole in the canopy, so it's the brightest part of the wood. I've got the little wire fire pit set up, although I think this might be its last trip. From constantly folding it, it's starting to wear through in places, so we'll see how long it holds up the fire tonight. It might collapse, I don't know. But yeah, so that's up. Wood's prepped to get me going. Not going to have a big fire. Don't even know how long for. We'll see. It is a solo in the woods, so it's always a bit odd on your own. You want something to do, so you tend to do the fire early, but I do get a bit bored on solos, to be honest, but it makes a change. Oh, cheers. It's a nice spot, this. I haven't been back for a couple of months, and I chose this location partly because of the pines. It's been very, very wet this week, ridiculous. There was some statistic on the news that we had more rain in 24 hours than we had the previous 3 months or something stupid. This being a pine plantation, obviously there's a lot of pine needles on the floor, so it's not so muddy, and also I'm on top of a bank here, so it's wet and muddy down the bottom. It's not so bad up here, so that's why I chose this location. It made sense for the weather. Right, enough waffling. See you in a bit. I'm keeping the noise levels down. This is a private location. Of course, no permission. There's someone doing a sort of evening dog walk, sort of behind the camera, behind you, about 60, 70 feet away. But I don't think they'll see me because there's a high bank of ferns in front of me, about 5 feet tall. So unless they walk right this way, they're not going to see me. Do we have to be a little bit sneaky here? You can't see it, but there's a house just through there, but slightly lighter patches. Turn that way. I don't know whether you'll make it out or not. A light there, there's a house there, and there. And they're all on the edge of the wood. So it's a private wood, but there is a footpath that runs around the perimeter where you can see it's light out on the field there. I should be fine. Can't even see the tent now. It's there-ish. It's just disappeared in the darkness. Good old DPM. But I'm definitely going to have to wait a little bit until I light the fire. Be like a gas lamp in the desert, as my father-in-law used to say. It would stick out like a sore thumb. I think I'll just put a brew on and sit tight for a while. It's nearly full dark now, so I'll just put the brew on. I'll have a cup of coffee and then I'll get the fire going, because it is starting to drop cold now the sun's gone. I don't know quite how well it'll come out on film, but the colour of that sky, it's, well, I don't know, it's almost purple. Very cool. Right, the observant amongst you, I noticed that I've changed hats. It's getting cold. Not only is this warmer, but having no peak works better with a head torch. Although it has got its own little lights built in. But no, for camp duties, I need the head torch really. Right, I'm going to finish this and get that fire lit. I'm getting chilly. Well, it's been so wet, I've decided to bring a mini fire log with me. Hopefully that'll ease fire lighting for me. Although that paper seemed a bit reluctant to get going. These aren't too bad to carry, these baby ones, they're not too heavy. They're only about sort of Coke can size. Everywhere is so wet, all the tinder, everything's bloody horrible, so I probably could still get a fire going, but you know, why struggle? I'll let that catch, and then we'll put a few twigs on, see how we go. gone log cabin style with the first bits there, just to let a bit of air flow underneath, try and get some heat in there. That should catch okay. It's going quite nice now. That shouldn't be a problem. Right, tonight's dinner. We've got meatballs and pasta, courtesy of the Steak Detective. Now, I'm a friend of Steve's, and I've sampled quite a lot of his stuff. All been very, very good. I definitely would recommend it. But quite recently we did a camp, and he said that he wanted a leather tinder pouch. He had one, but it wasn't really big enough. So I custom made him a larger one. Get away, bugs. And in exchange, he sent me some samples to try. Gotta love a bit of trade, haven't you? So yeah, meatballs and pasta tonight, courtesy of the Steak Detective. Right, I can't really show you in there, but it's quite chunky looking. Smells good too. The meatballs and pasta are in the like military rations. They're fine, but they don't particularly smell of anything apart from tomato sauce. I'll just stick these lights on there. This actually smells sort of, I don't know, herby Italian sort of, you know, like you'd expect it to be. So, you know, decent sized meatballs. Really good meatballs too. Really juicy. Right, I'm going to get on with this. You don't want to watch this. See you in a bit. Right, dinner's done. The last drink has been had. I've just banked up the fire with the last of the wood. It is getting cold now. I don't know if you can see my breath or not, but it's getting chilly. So while I'm waiting for the fire to die down, brought my Kindle. I'm going to sit and have a read for a bit, and then once the fires stop putting out any decent amount of heat, I'll go and hide in a tent where it's cosy and warm, probably read a bit more in there, and then get some sleep. Right, I've moved all my gear under the tarp, ready for the rain overnight. Plenty of room under there, and of course the beauty of the fire pit, I just picked it up by the legs, carried that over here as well, get a bit of heat down here. Downside, it's going to trap all the smoke under there, and it's going to stink, but get a little bit of heat out of it. It's not going to hurt the tarp. It's not a big enough fire, and it's on its way out now anyway. But yeah, time to get into the bag and get warm, I think. Right, in the tent, in the warm, zipped up in my bag. I'll start warming up in a minute. That was getting quite chilly, and I didn't want to cut any more wood or have a bigger fire because of the location, so it seemed prudent to get in here where it's a bit warmer. So I'm just going to get comfy, do a bit more reading, and then get some sleep. That is, I've got very efficient, and I've got everything I need here. Got my Kindle and everything else. What's the one thing I haven't got? My bloody glasses. They're either in my jacket or in a bag. Just getting comfy. Now I need to search for my glasses. Right, it's bedtime. I'll see you in the morning. morning. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke up really early, but because it turned cold last night, I went to bed early, so I've already had a decent amount of sleep. The rain has been on and off through the night. It's not heavy at the moment, just spitting, which is nice. And as I'm awake, I thought there's no point in me just laying here. I'm making a cup of coffee. Got the Trangier burner going just outside the door here. And after I've had a coffee, I'm going to start packing a few bits up. I've checked the weather, and there's meant to be a lull in the rain at about 7 o'clock, which will be sort of roughly first light, and then getting very heavy again from sort of 8, 9 onwards. So I might try and pack everything in advance, just leave the tarp up, wait for that sort of 7 o'clock window and run for it. Right, the rain's eased off, but it's not light yet. I've decided to take advantage of this lull in the rain. Oh, grab the tree. Oh, that's it. Where's the bloody path? It's always a challenge, even if it's a wood that you know well, navigating it in the pitch black dark. I think I can see the path. It's a bit of a path here. Well, it's going roughly the right direction anyway. I'll see you back at the car. Right, made it to the car. Just as I left the woodland and got into the sort of open fields, the heavens opened. I'm glad I opted to put my big leather hat on. Good old kiddie, bloody water running off of it. It does stop it from going like down your neck or whatever, keeps it off. Oh, bloody hell. I'm soggy, I'm gonna head home. It's still dark. Never mind, still had fun.